Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Fiji Airways makes major announcements. Anthony still in custody as police search FTUC officers. And young Fijians honoured for achieving great heights.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Non-management staff of the Fiji Airways and Fiji Link have today received a bonus payout. Making the announcement, Economy and Aviation Minister Said Qayyum says each staff will receive a payment of $2,350 each. Said Qayyum adds the profits for the 2018 financial year was not as high. Therefore, management will not receive any bonus payout. The minister also revealed that the national carrier has performed extremely well, as it has become the first Fijian company to achieve the billion-dollar revenue mark. Fiji Airways recorded revenue of $1.02 billion for the financial year ending 2018. Said Qayyum adds profits did not shine like in the 2017 financial year. A profit of $55.3 million was made in 2018, whereas profits for 2017 stood at $95.8 million. The minister revealed that the profits were low due to factors beyond control.
Prices increased by $31.5 billion from the previous year. This, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is something that Fiji Airways, the government of Fiji, has absolutely no control over. It's subject to world market prices. And ladies and gentlemen, also foreign exchange variations negatively impacted on the group by $8.2 million. These costs, as highlighted, are beyond Fiji Airways Group's control and a major impact on the results of 2018.
Fiji Airways also this afternoon announced that it has purchased 2 new aircrafts, the Airbus A350. Economy and Aviation Minister Said Qayyum says the 2 wide-bodied aircrafts have the capacity to host over 300 passengers. Said Qayyum adds the first Airbus A350 will arrive in November, followed by the second one in December this year. He says with the procurement of these fleets, Fiji will have the youngest fleet in the world. Withholding the cost of the fleet, it is understood that one Airbus costs $350 million US. Fiji Airways Chief Executive Andre Fillion says discussions to obtain these fleets took 2 years. Fillion adds the aircrafts use 25% less fuel compared to other aircrafts, which reduces Fiji's carbon footprint due to its lower fuel burn. He adds the Airbus A350 allows Fiji Airways to extend its routes beyond those that currently exist. The aircrafts will be leased under an agreement with world-class partners Dubai Aerospace Enterprises. The flights are intended to fly Los Angeles to Nadi and back.
Very extensive process. And I can tell you we had meetings in Nadi, in Dublin, in Dubai, in Hong Kong, in Sydney, and we went through multiple facets of what we call BAFOs, best and final offers, and then eventually LAFOs, last and final offers, and it brings us to where we are today. What was very important in all this was not just choosing and evaluating the aircraft based on the best economics and operating performance, but also to find the right partners.
There is still no confirmation this evening whether the Fiji Trades Union Congress will continue with their nationwide protest tomorrow. This as the FTUC's board meeting to discuss tomorrow's protest could not convene today after police carried out a search at the FTUC headquarters along McGregor Road in Suva. Unionist Attar Singh says their board meeting could not go ahead as planned. Singh says they do not want to interfere with police procedures and will carry out their meeting once the search is over. Meanwhile, FTUC General Secretary Felix Anthony was also brought in by police officers during the search. Anthony, who was arrested by police yesterday afternoon for allegedly breaching the Public Order Act, remains in custody. The Fiji Trades Union Congress application for a permit to march in Nadi on Saturday has been rejected by the Fiji Roads Authority. Chief Executive Jonathan Moore says the application for a permit has been rejected as the time, route and size of the march is likely to interrupt the safety and orderly movement of traffic in the vicinity. Moore says the planned size of the march will require concerted effort from the enforcement agencies, which he believes will not be possible as a significant number of security personnel are committed with the 52nd ADB meeting. He stresses that there was no other motive behind the rejection.
We remain independent of what we do. We rejected this march on purely technical reasons. We've accepted plenty of others, but none of those are anywhere near the scale of this march. So if people are thinking there's some kind of political motivation behind us, then absolutely not. I speak to ministers about FRA plans, condition of the roads, funding, that kind of thing. Not about union marches and politics.
Good news for people living in Vio Island, Lautoka, as they finally have access to electricity. After years of being in the dark, the Vio Islanders will have lights from tonight after the launching of the solar microgrid project on the island, a first for any community in Fiji. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The use of candles, kerosene lamps and generators will now be a thing of the past for people living on Vio Island following the launching of the solar microgrid project today.
By turning on the lights here on the island of Vio, this will mark the first site for our sweeping Fiji Rural Electrification Fund. This is a bold new initiative that aims to bring clean, renewable electricity to rural communities in Fiji that are not currently served by the electric power grid.
Vio Island, a 5-minute boat ride from the Lautoka Wharf, also becomes the first ever Fijian community to have access to clean, renewable and affordable energy from a solar grid.
And I can say that when I have launched other rural electrification programs elsewhere in the world, we've seen so many positive benefits for the community.
For the 45 households on Vio Island, today was to celebrate, as for many decades they have endured darkness.
This is a great achievement for us. Gone will be the days of darkness at night for people living in Vio. Indeed, a good day for us.
The project on Vio is part of the Fiji Rural Electrification Trust Fund, which was the brainchild of the Fijian COP23 presidency. The fund is tasked to enable access to clean, renewable and affordable electricity to rural communities, and the plan is to have up to 300 communities under this project in the next 10 years. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Faces of Fiji's future. 30 Fijians were today honoured for their outstanding contribution to business, sports, the arts and community. Launched as one of the key events of the 52nd Asian Development Bank's annual Board of Governors meeting, the Minister for Economy, Ayaside Kayum, says the initiative highlights 30 young Fijians under the age of 30 from a wide and diverse background. Maggie Boyle with the story.
They're the faces of Fiji's future, and they represent a diverse background reflective of the populace.
This is a generation to watch in Fiji. The true barometer for success has been elevated not by a few solitary actors, but by the collective progress of what is proving to be a golden era of opportunity, we believe, in Fiji.
Forward-thinking and veterans in their respective fields, the touted leaders all had to apply to be included in the inaugural class of 30 under 30. For one of the 30, Adeline Tutu, her foray into the fitness business was a personal journey of transformation.
And so I went into fitness, and from not doing a push-up at all my entire life to here, struggling with my body after 2 kids. And 4 months postpartum, I actually started working out, and I started to find a person I never thought existed. I started to find a strong woman that I never thought I would find.
For Alvindra Dutt, it's his thinking outside of the box that has led to his standout performance.
You can do more. So at that point, I told myself, I'm going to make a difference now. It doesn't matter that the people who get the job, I'm going to think differently. I'm going to do more. At that point of time, I believe Android mobile development was a big thing. So I stayed up late, studying, reading tutorials, and it got me a job.
The endorsement of Fiji's 30 under 30 concept getting the nod from the ADB president.
to recognize the young Fijian leaders who have been selected for today's 30 Under 30 event. These young leaders are truly a positive force for change in Asia and the Pacific.
Honorees of the program also included young leaders in the manufacturing and social justice sectors. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
An action plan for healthy oceans was launched today as part of the 52nd Asian Development Bank's annual Board of Governors meeting. The Healthy Oceans Action Plan is a commitment of more than $10 billion that will focus on 4 key areas: creating inclusive livelihoods and business opportunities in sustainable tourism and fisheries, protecting and restoring coastal and marine ecosystems and key rivers. ADB's Director in the Sustainable Development and Climate Change Department, Bruce Dunn, says it's critical that every effort is made to ensure our oceans have a fighting chance. According to Dunn, ocean ecosystems have been pushed back to the brink of collapse by the various threats.
I feel it's absolutely very critical. This has been an area that has not had enough attention for a long time. We've seen major impacts in the oceans from fishing, from unsustainable coastal development, and also pollution. And in the future, climate change is going to have a massive impact. In fact, by 2052, it's projected that unless we can keep climate change impacts to below 1.5 degrees globally, we could see the loss of 90% of all coral reef ecosystems. So imagine for Fiji and the Pacific, that's devastating.
Maggie Boyle, who has spent another day covering the ADB meet, now joins us live from the venue. Maggie, how did the day pan out?
Good evening, Jackie. Well, there's an air of celebration here tonight with the President Takaheo Nakawa of the ADB Bank holding a reception for all the somewhat 2,000 delegates that are attending. Again, today, of course, was an info-packed session, several seminars running concurrently as well. And in the highlights, we've talked about the 30 Under 30, which is the host country's spotlight event, which was a full house this morning as well, highlighting the 30 faces of the future, and it's certainly in good hands when you look at all the credentials of those 30 under 30 years of age. Also, big announcements from the Oceans Health Action Plan, particularly around the more than $10 billion that's been pledged towards that. That will be a co-financing arrangement with the ADB, but it will be over the next 6 years, and it's particularly going to look at pollution, plastic pollution, overfishing in our oceans. Looking at tomorrow, Jackie, again, another packed day of events. In particular, it's going to be the official opening of the ADB meeting here, and the 68 governors that make up the member countries of the ADB. They will be here tomorrow. The Prime Minister, of course, will be on hand. They will be accorded a traditional welcome, and we will, of course, have that live for you tomorrow morning. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Maggie. Still to come, alleged drug case bail ruling delayed. And Foundation undertakes 12 heart surgeries. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Oya uvasit sai lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warro nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warro nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere. Wana tumela nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere nawaluan.
Na vengo fani na tao.
The bail ruling for alleged airline drug smuggler Justin Ho will now be called later this month. This afternoon, both the defense and the DPP made oral submissions before the Lautoka High Court. The High Court judge has adjourned the ruling for the 16th of this month. Ho is charged with 1 count of unlawful importation and exportation. He's also facing 1 count of unlawful possession, manufacture, cultivation and supply, contrary to Section 5B of the Illicit Drugs Control Act 2004. He is alleged to have, without lawful authority, facilitated in exporting 2 parcels weighing more than 2 kg of cocaine and illicit drugs on December 23rd last year. It's also alleged on the same day, the 28-year-old, along with an accomplice, engaged in the dealing for the transfer, transport, supply, use, manufacture and sale of cocaine and illicit drugs. A 36-year-old pastor alleged to have raped a 15-year-old student in Alsori last month pleaded not guilty to his charges in the Suva High Court this morning. Ravinesh Chand of Nandali, Alsori, faces 3 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. He is alleged to have committed the offences on a student who was a member of his congregation in Luvu on 21st March. The defence has filed bail application, informing the court that Chand will relocate to Lambasa once bail is granted, and the chances of him interfering with the witnesses will be minimum. Chand has been remanded in custody for bail hearing on the 15th of May. 12 congenital heart surgeries have been successfully conducted by the Sai Prema Foundation team at CWM Hospital since Monday. Foundation Medical Coordinator Dr. Krupali Tapu has confirmed 77 children have been screened, from which 20 will be selected for surgeries early next week. Savara Tambor reports.
80-year-old Skylar He with few others have undergone the operation and are now relaxing in bed at the hospital.
Feeling good, and I'm thankful for Sai Foundation. Operation successful. Thank you.
I'm happy about my operation.
Congenital heart disease is something that is it's the commonest congenital defect in the world. So you may be aware about 20,000 children are born in Fiji every year, of which about 200 are born with congenital heart disease.
The foundation team has already performed 54 surgeries since 2016 and effectively saving $5.4 million for the families. Parents of children who received the operations have shared their views.
Before she was looks not healthy, but after the operation I can see there's a change on her face. She's feeling well now.
I believe without the foundation team, my daughter would not have been here with us. However, I'm so fortunate that she is a part of this free operation.
I would like to thank the Almighty for providing Sai Prema Foundation to assist our children in terms of this free operation.
According to Dr. Tapo, good nutrition throughout for our children and get them immunized for measles and rubella are vital to preventing congenital heart disease. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
The food court at the FMPF Place along Victoria Parade Suva, commonly known as Dolphins, has shut its doors to undergo refurbishment. The building is owned by the Fiji National Provident Fund. As part of the renovation, a modern look will be given to the food court area and the building's main entrance. It is expected to take 3 to 6 months to complete the renovations. Later in Sports with Jamie, he will have all the action from the UEFA Champions League. But first, Rachel joins us once again from Nandi for a look at business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, Fiji, and coming up after the break. Tourism bodies make budget submission. And in growing Fiji, ADB boosts facilities. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM.
Leading business tonight in its 2019-2020 budget submission, the Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association has outlined a number of recommendations so that tourism remains sustainable for future generations. This is to address the challenges the industry must overcome to be the destination of choice in the Pacific while ensuring Fiji's future as the tropical paradise. Kritika Kumar reports.
The FHTA chief executive says the submission is divided into 3 sections that discuss the specific areas that impact tourism.
We hope to generate the interest in the industry to understand how it operates, why it operates, and the impact that it has on the economy.
She says tourism has the potential to be a tool for development.
We'd like to see, for example, a little bit more attention to improving infrastructure, if you're looking at expanding or creating more development, then the infrastructure that supports that development must go hand in hand with it.
FHTA President Dixon Sito says they have recommended developing tourism in rural and maritime areas that support education tours, marine conservation and biodiversity.
It's about developing the economy, because what we feel is that if it's good for tourism and if it's good for the economy, then the government should support this. And we have many ideas and suggestions in our budget submission for government to consider.
The FHTA believes that genuine partnership forged between the private sector and the government will facilitate long-term collaboration that will provide future development and investment. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The 2019 South Pacific Tourism Exchange will be held in Auckland, New Zealand, with the aim to increase the number of tourists arriving in the country. 62 international buyers from 14 countries and 94 sellers from 17 Pacific Island countries will be part of the SPTE. South Pacific Tourism Organization Chief Executive Christopher Corker says during this two-day meet, the buyers and sellers will negotiate and sign contracts for selling packages to tourist destinations. Corker says the theme for this year's Tourism Exchange is Sustainable Tourism, Development through People-to-People Connectivity.
So it's one avenue of us trying to help the Pacific increase the number of tourist arrivals from our major source markets, in this case, and emerging as well.
Onto the money markets, and from here we join Sanifa from HFC Bank.
The US dollar took a breather in Asia this morning after a brief spill overnight when markets were confused by mixed messages on policy from the Federal Reserve. Their decision to leave rates unchanged arrived just hours before data showed manufacturing growth below expectations. The Institute of Supply Management manufacturing data for April showed a downtick to 52.8, missing expectations of 55. The slowdown in manufacturing activity comes just days after data showed the U.S. economy grew at a 3.2% annualized rate, above the 2.2% pace in the final 3 months of last year. Market liquidity was lacking with both Japan and China on holiday and little in the way of major economic data in the diary. Trading in Japan will resume next Tuesday, while China will be back in action on Monday. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Anifa. On to today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. The foreign exchange market continues to be volatile. Now, the Fiji dollar made some gains against the currencies of our two major trading partners, that's Australia and New Zealand, but showed minor slippage against the other currencies we cover. Now, onto the commodities market, it was mixed as oil prices continued to show its strength, climbing towards $64 per barrel. Gold dropped about $5 to $1,276 per ounce, and silver closed down at $14.67 per ounce. And in Going Fiji tonight, in light of the Asian Development Bank's high-level meeting, the resorts here on Denarau have undertaken a massive upgrade. These include the renovation to Sheraton, Westin, Denarau Golf and Racquet Club, and the Sheraton Villas, as these are the main venues for the various meetings over the 4 days. Host Resorts multi-property president Neeraj Chadha says the top cost of these upgrades amounted to over $20 million. Chadha adds the upgrades gives Fiji an opportunity to venture into the meetings, incentives, conference and exhibition market due to the new infrastructure.
The initial plan was to sort of understand clearly what the requirements of the conferences are, and based on that we put a massive investment plan which we needed the investment in to upgrade the hotels and bring in additional facilities for the meeting, and that's all been completed. We now have a fabulous brand new Denarau Convention Center. We also have 4 new meeting rooms, including better amenities across the hotel. We've also done some upgrade across our restaurants and certainly some investment in our rooms.
And that's it from Business for tonight. Remember, do join us again tomorrow for all the latest on the ADB meeting. But first, Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports tonight, Nadungu back in 7th fold. And Messi scores twice in Barca's 3-0 win over Liverpool. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The next 2 weeks will be interesting for the Fiji Airways 7 side. Waisea Nadungu is back in training along with Terio Tamani. Aquila Dama with more from the National Sevens camp.
Waisea Nadungu, who was earlier ruled out of the season with a broken collarbone at the Las Vegas Sevens, looked sharp at training and may be considered for the London and Paris Sevens. Terio Tamani, on the other hand, didn't feature in the later stages of the Singapore Sevens last month, but was running well with the national squad. Coach Gareth Baber says he doesn't want to rush things, especially when players are recovering.
The early days in terms of their rehab, their fitness levels and how they're progressing in that, but it's important it's done properly. It's important that we don't rush players back, but they need to be, honouring that position that they get, the privilege of being in here in the first place, and then pushing as they know, respect the jersey and push for what they can get out of it.
Baber says Jerry Tuai is nursing an injury, while Levi Ikanikonda is out of the country and is expected to join the team soon.
Jerry's here with us. Levi is in Vanuatu at the moment, looking for visa, French visa, which obviously we've got to open up for him. So yes, it's important that they carry on with that rehab with the medical team and the S&C staff, and we'll integrate them back into training as soon as we can.
Baber is hoping the team can replicate their Hong Kong Sevens form in London as the race for the overall series title gets more interesting. The London Sevens will be held from the 25th to the 27th of this month. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Over 30 teams are gearing up to take part in the Munro Lee's Suva Challenge 2019 this Saturday. The event, hosted by the Suva Marathon Club, will feature a half marathon and mixed team marathon. Race director Gina Hung Lee says the community event will be an inclusive one that promotes healthy living.
At the same time, really try and pitch all the corporates to try and put in their team members if they can, if they want to compete with each other. But it's just really getting people out there running, and we're really concerned as a nation, and as to see that we have such high levels of obesity, high levels of cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes.
Former national 400 meters champion Calvin Yee believes he still has a lot to offer Fiji athletics. He is one of the newest members of the FASANOC Executive Board, elected as one of the vice presidents at the FASANOC Annual General Assembly on Tuesday night in Suva. He is also the current Team Fiji General Manager to the 2019 Pacific Games in Samoa in July.
For me, giving back to sports, what sports has given back to me, and something that I enjoy and have a passion for in terms of sports in Fiji, and personally just giving back and seeing that the opportunities as an administrator to give to the athletes, the coming generation of athletes in Fiji, in terms of supporting them from a different perspective.
How New Zealand Rugby managed to convince Sam Whitelock to stay with them long term is nothing short of a minor miracle. The veteran lock was all but lost to a lucrative overseas offer before his employers played a card not seen before. The magical Lionel Messi masterclass has left Liverpool on the verge of Champions League semi-final elimination. The Argentinian scoring twice in the first leg win this morning, with Barcelona taking a 3-0 advantage into next week's second leg. In today's play of the day, Van der Beek's early goal for Ajax that gave them the lead in their 1-0 win over Tottenham in the UEFA Champions League match yesterday. That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather and the new media. Facebook to get a facelift. Find out more after the break.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से। जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फिजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की
In new media, Facebook has announced plans to roll out a complete redesign of its ever-popular website. Facebook said that the blue menu bar that has been part of the site since the very beginning will be replaced by a cleaner interface with a more minimalist sensibility. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It's been a roller coaster week of events with perfect sunshine. The on and off showers are back in action. A look in the west, quite mild with sunshine fulfilling its duty. Eastwards from Pakhabarasuva, quite cool with showers expected later tonight. And up north, quite mild with showers also expected. It's rainy time again. At sea, easterly winds 20 to 25 knots, very rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 11:51 p.m. with high tide at 6:04 a.m. Sunrise at 6:20. For tomorrow, it's Friday and Friday means winding down for the weekend. The weather looks pretty fine for now, but heavy showers are loitering just above the island. So if the mood changes, it might sway towards us. Tomorrow's temps, major centers will be cool at low 30s. And looking further on to Saturday, well, there is more light showers indicated. Otherwise, all good for now. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, who do you think will win this year's Fiji Fact?
My team is Loto. And maybe whatever one win.
I think it's Lambasa. I think Lambasa will take the ground.
I'll be cheering for them because I know most of the players in the Real team, and yes, Real should win. Probably Murmasa Confederacy, there is no other choice. Rewa is the favorite.
I think Ma will win because there are lots of experienced players.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Anthony still in custody as police search FTUC officers. Fiji Airways makes major announcements, and young Fijians honoured for achieving great heights. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, we're asking, is the FRA doing enough to fix potholes on our roads? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, all the way from the ADB meet underway with all the attention on the high-level delegates and the meetings. The Fijian smile is truly wide and beautiful in welcoming all at Denarau. Absolutely stunning shot there. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, nevang gomal kay leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai Lambasa, yang do talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Gue do tumeli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Warong tuma ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere nawaluan.
Nevang go fane na tao no go singa toka, kita do talita ka ng Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.
Bula FM, nambang dua na sere.